Okay.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. How you doing? Maddie here, Buy Sell Network, Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining. I got Mr. Ben here right next to me.
Morning, everybody.
Hey,
How's it going? Jumping
how's
on right now.
everyone doing? Please join us. Please interact with us in the comments. If you have questions, you have something to contribute to the conversation. We're going to talk about tools, tech, and apps today. Just about some things. I actually had a Zoom call yesterday, and I totally decided to change what I was going to talk about today based on that Zoom call. Has that ever happened to you, Ben? You had something all prepared, ready to rock and roll, and all of a sudden you decide to change it at the last minute?
So many times. I mean, when you have, you have a family and you have things and you have so many things going on. I mean, I have three girls, and they always like to throw things the last minute with me, and like they're like, "Dad, we got to do this." I'm like, "Oh, but I have this," and you're like, "Oh," and you just can't. You get a little upset, right? You're like, but then it's okay to cancel because, your kids, you want to make your kids happy. You want to help
You got
them
to
out.
make adjustments.
And you know that their success, and for me, and this is the way I look at it, if it was something for like a friend or if they're going to do something fun, no, they lost it, right? But when it comes to like, they got to turn in a project or they got to go do something, if it's because if it's for school, then of course you have to, right? You're like, oh, okay, let's go. Because, and it's always something silly, like I got to go to the library, I got to drop off this project, or I got to go to this friend's house and give him this. Yeah,
Yeah, totally. Love making adjustments. My life lives in making adjustments, whether it's a client or something I need to perform for my family, like you're just talking about. It's life is about making adjustments. And that's a big thing right now with the world economy. The event that we're going through, making adjustments is such a huge part of what you have to do right now. You must do that. We're actually just forced to. A lot of times when people are, in my opinion, you're starting a new business, you're starting a new venture, whether it's cleaning carpets, disinfecting houses, selling food items, getting a food truck, whatever it is, you have to adjust to whatever situation you're in. When you first start, you may have a clear direction that you want to go, but bam, you hit that block wall, and you got to learn to adjust. And right now, the world is learning to make an adjustment. And it's funny, I was just talking to my wife a few moments ago, and she was talking about the longevity of this event and how she was watching something, how it talked about how in the future it will change how we dine. A lot of these restaurants they're gonna stack tops all over the place to get as many people in to generate as much revenue as possible. Well, at this point, with this event, how is that going to look? Are they going to, in the future, restrict as many occupants per room to try and, prevent future outbreaks? I'm curious. I'm wondering what adjustments are being made out there for business, because I'm just naturally curious like that. So if your business is going through an adjustment, drop it in the comment. I'm curious what biggest adjustment you've had in your business. Mine is not a huge adjustment. I'm in real estate, so I still do a lot of things by video. I feel video. I made that decision a year or so ago that I'm going to do a lot by video. I promote my clients' properties on video. I do a lot of video tours. So that for me didn't change a lot. For me, what changed is the amount of people that are using that now. I would offer those things and people were like, oh, I don't want to do that. I would rather do it another way. Now they're forced to use those methods, but that works really easy for what I've already been doing.
Yeah, they have to learn. So a lot of people know this, and you already know this. I hurt my knee, right? I have a knee injury, and it's been hurting. So I finally said, I have to go to the doctor, and I need to get a referral for an orthopedic doctor, right? So I called the doctor, and right now we're waiting a long time to see the doctor, especially for what's happening right now. You just can't go to the doctor and unless you got
right in anymore.
Yeah, you have to wait. So they said. They called me back, and today actually I have a doctor's appointment on Zoom with my doctor, and the lady that had called me that scheduled it, she even said, I'm still new to this. I still need to learn this. I have to start learning this now.
Yeah.
That she's just someone that she's making the appointments, but now I have and she has to learn how Zoom works in order to send me the ID number and to send me the email. And it's you have to be on top of this now, especially if you're in business. You have to have a conversation. And I tell you guys again, before we have my wife does the CrossFit class, my daughter does the cello lessons, and it's all on a phone now. And we are still paying these people. I'm still paying these people for my daughter to have a cello lesson on the phone.
You know what? Thank you so much for supporting the community and those small businesses out there. That's really what it's about. You know, they're figuring out a way and adjusting, and you're supporting them, and you're as a client figuring out how to work together. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it changes. And one of the things that you introduced me to when we had breakfast one morning was Facebook payments, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I was like, no, I don't want to touch that.
I left my wallet at home when we went to get breakfast. It felt like such a scumbag. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to get a free meal off you.
And I'm like that guy. I love using my credit card, and I'm still old fashioned in a lot of ways where I want to pay with cash or my credit card. And you said, okay, you know, I'll pay you back with the Facebook payments. I'm like, I don't know, man. And you, when you told me oh, I use it all the time, made me very, very comfortable, and I was assured, right? So I'm going to assure you. I know everyone's so worried about their identity or the credit card or whatever, but I would have maybe use like a debit card that you have a certain amount of cash in.
Restricted for sure.
I mean, maybe you keep a minimum balance in there and use that to take payments and to pay people, and that works very, very easy. And I've played with, my wife has Venmo, my wife has the other one.
Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, there's tons of them now.
And I've seen her use it, but Facebook payments works very, very smooth. It's so easy. And especially if you're selling on Facebook Marketplace, and you're using Marketplace to sell whatever you're selling, it's so easy to get the payment and it's over, right? And you have a transaction. And the money goes in there. I was very impressed with that. So if that's a little tool or something that you guys want to use or test out, the Facebook payment application within your Messenger works
That's a great idea. Absolutely. Because I mean, at the end of the day, business is about, you know, making a profit, making money. So you have to make sure that you're able to facilitate those payments, whatever gateway or whatever you're using. Auth.net or whatever they are, Stripe integrates really well. But yeah, man, we're out having coffee, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe I forgot my wallet, and that introduced Ben to a product, a tool. So that's really what marketing online is about, and sales in general. You know, introducing and showing your experiences with products and how they can help solve problems, right? That solved the problem. I didn't have any money. I had to make sure I could pay you because that's how I am. And we made it work.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I used it. I think I ended up selling.
Oh, you sold some stuff. I remember that.
That
shoe rack I wanted.
Yeah, man, sorry. I had pressure. Someone wanted my broken pressure washer. And they came back and they looked at it and I said, okay, I'll pay you. And they paid me and the money was in there easy. So that's a great tool to have, especially if you're trying to run your business on Facebook and Facebook Marketplace. Anything else that you're thinking about that's a great tool out there to use? And
I started off originally in the conversation about I was on a Zoom call yesterday and I was talking to, God, sorry for my nose. I was talking to another agent out in Texas. And gosh, my nose is driving me nuts. My apologies, everyone. And she's very new to YouTube and taking video and recording. And so she's part of one of my video accountability groups. And so she asked me if I could give her a few tips. And so we spent a few minutes on Zoom yesterday. And I'm going to take off my virtual background because it's hard to show you something when I have the virtual background up. If you don't know how to do a virtual background, it's that easy. All right. But she was new to video. And one thing if you haven't learned about me yet, I believe heavily video is what you need to be doing to promote your business. If you're not doing video yet, if you're not doing community videos, if you're not doing videos about other businesses. If you're not collaborating, you need to get started. Okay. But I'm in a video accountability class. So I'm talking to this lady and she's like, well, I've got all this footage on my iPhone. I've got all this, I got this little clip that talks about this little thing. And then I got another clip and another clip and another. She was clipped to death. She had so many clips, she didn't know what to do. And from an editing standpoint, now you have to go through all those clips to know what you're going to get rid of. And one tip real quick is as you're taking video, get rid of the clips you don't want right away so you don't have to waste time later. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. The tip I wanted to talk about is get yourself a GoPro camera.
Oh, we have, those are great.
Because you need to stop. One of the things that I did was I always recorded with my camera. So I get out there, I get my camera, I do my pictures, but then the phone would ring. Or my data, not my, the data transfer to get it onto my desktop so I can manipulate the video would take a long time. It would clog up my phone. My phone would go slow. So I bought this thing. I want you to see it. It's really small. This camera, I think, was given to me. I don't think you can see it very well, but it's not a GoPro, but it's still a 4K camera. If you saw my Thunderbirds video the other day, the first clip of the flyover was my clip with this camera, and it came out super, super crisp, just like the iPhone. Okay. Yeah. And then, so I bought this piece right here. This is, I think this thing cost me, I want to say I paid $25 for this piece and a couple other items, counterweights and everything else. I mean, this thing I maybe would cost $5, but it puts my GoPro in there, and then I'm able to put it in my gimbal, right, to keep it steady when I'm taking video. That just kind of ups your video game a little bit. And my gimbal is a charger. Okay. So now this thing, as I'm going through my day, I'm able to take as much video as I want because I can recharge it with this thing 3 or 4 times. So there's nothing I'm not going to catch. Okay. So that's my biggest tip for today. In tech and a tool all in one, but get yourself a small little action camera. Get a 4K one. You don't need to record in 4K. Okay, 4K is going to take a lot of data. Go ahead and go in your 1080i, 1080p, one of the two. I'm not an expert in that stuff. You know which one it is.
Just 1080.
Just 1080, man. Just record in 1080, and you're going to be fine. So this is going to save you so much time, heartache, pain, suffering in the editing process, because the one thing I told her was put the camera in and let it roll. When you flub a line, if you say something, go down a path that you don't want to do, we don't have that ability live on camera, but you have that ability when you're recording, okay? Just stop, reset, take a breath, and move forward. You're going to know in your editing process because you're right in your flow. Okay, so don't take a bunch of clips, get yourself a GoPro, and get yourself on video. And that's it.
I totally agree with that. The camera is you have to get comfortable with it. You have to start doing your lives. That's one of the things why I tell people I think now we're in a generation, or by now, everyone has an extra device, right? Everyone's upgraded. So if you don't using your iPhone 10 or your iPhone 8, you still have your iPhone 6. So try to use one device as a work phone and use one as a home phone. And you don't have to have the SIM card. You can just, like right now I have 2 devices, right? I'm going to show you guys right here. The one I'm on camera with, this is my extra device. And then this is my home device. And you got to have it. You got to have 2 at least, especially if you're out there doing live videos, if you're out there posting on social media. It's just a great way to separate your content. And I'm horrible with it because I try to do everything on my regular phone, but it's nice just to separate certain projects. So if you have an idea, something like Maddie's doing where he's putting together a little video or whatever, do it on a separate phone. And that way you can sit down and you can put the apps, all the apps that you need in there, all the fun tool. What's a good app that you like to use? Usually that's a good little, I think the iMovie app is a good starter. I don't know if you've ever played with that.
Which one?
The iMovie app?
You know what? I really haven't. My problem is I got big thumbs, and trying to manipulate the video on these apps on my phone just for me didn't work. iMovie, from one of my mentors, he is an expert in iMovie, and I would be happy if you want a link to one of his videos on how to do iMovie. The dude's awesome. I would love to give you that information because Enzo, that dude is awesome.
Yeah, there's good things. I see people do killer videos on there.
You can
I'm
do,
very simplistic, but
you can do tons of videos. There's all kinds of apps. There's the GoPro app. There's OnShot. What is it? OnShot is another one for when I had Samsung. When I had my Galaxy, that was a great app. You know what? At the end of the day, man, whatever app works for you is the best. It doesn't matter what I think is the best. Whatever app you use and you consistently use, that's what's the best.
Yeah, you just got to be consistent with it, right? So you just got to play with it.
That's one of the reasons why we decided to do this every day at 7:30 instead of just Ben, because Ben goes randomly live, and so do I on different channels and different groups. But the reason that we're doing this is consistency, holding ourselves accountable. And Facebook's going to recognize that we're a consistent show. Also, one thing that you also want to note is we're on YouTube now. So every day on YouTube, the daily show will go live at 10 p.m., okay, on YouTube. So if you don't catch us, you like stuff on YouTube, go over there. You're going to catch us. Same content, but a little bit easier. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for joining us over there. All right? And you know what? If you have some business owner friends, if you have some friends that have just started a business, hey, right now tons of people are investigating home-based businesses and how they can get started. Share them, tag them below, share this with them. We would like to, I made a ton of mistakes in my 20-some years of doing sales and marketing and project management. Well, marketing was very short. I really concentrated on that in a very short time, but really project management and business ownership. So if I can give you any tips, any ways to prevent you from going down the wrong path, or at least educating you on my experiences, I would love to do so and do that for your friends. So please share this with them. Hit that little share button, like it, make a comment, interact with us.
Yep.
All right.
What's another that you're using, Maddie, that you think that's good out there? I'm looking through I use, okay, so I'm kind of the guy, right? So I'm kind of the guy that before I invest in an app, because I know you like to buy the app.
Uh-oh. Come back to us, man.
What was that?
You froze. You said, yeah, go ahead.
So I always like to test apps out there. What's another one good? I know for editing, especially if you're doing editing photos, I use the Adobe Spark. Have you ever tried that one?
I haven't used that. That is not one. You know what? I like Adobe. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to pay for it. So what I did was I moved over to Adobe.
Yeah, there's a free version of it.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, so definitely play with that. And that's one where you can make, like, you can put your picture, you can put captions on it, you can put words on it, you can play with it. And there's a free photo search in there too, just like.
So you said Photo Spark, right?
Yeah.
Because I have, and hold on, I'm going to look at it because I got Adobe, what is it, Photoshop PS or Express? That does, yeah, PS Express, which is Adobe Photoshop, that I thought did about the same thing because I did a collage yesterday. I did like 5 photos and I did a little writing on there, and that's what I used for that. But I'm going to have to check out Adobe Spark because it sounds a little bit more up my alley.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's very easy.
I like simple and easy.
The only thing is that they put the watermark on there for the free version, which you can crop out. So they'll put the little watermark on the bottom, but you can always crop that out. And if you buy it, the only thing there is a monthly membership, right? So that's the only thing that I bought that. But
I try to get away from those.
You know,
I'm not a big fan of the monthly memberships.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of things that when they want to charge you every month, right? For using it, especially if you're using it once in a while. There's certain things out there that I don't mind paying monthly for.
Totally.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So
I use a program called Thumbnail Blaster for my images, but there's free. I paid a couple bucks for that, which is very similar to the Canva Pro in a sense. Yeah. Canva is, when we talk about apps, that's a great one. I use it more on desktop. I don't even know if you can use it on your phone. You may, I don't know. But I've used it on my desktop really to create property grids when you're doing 5 or 6 photos of a property. And sorry, I always, bang on my experience doing realtor stuff. That's just what I'm experienced in. But that's what I would do is I would do a 6 or 5 property layout, make it look all nice in a grid style. And that's what I would use Canva for. But they have all kinds of stock photos now. You can replace backgrounds like a green screen. You can have a video back. I was in a live room the other day, and they were talking about a lady that had just purchased the pro version and how happy she was. Again, I use something different. Whatever tool that you use is the tool that's the right one for you. I'm not here to promote anyone over another.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. There's one that I use for stock photos. When we talk about stock photos, let's say there's an image that you want to use for if you're trying to sell something, right? Those are like the free images versus going to Google and going to doing an image search. There's people that put photos out there that let you use those photos for free, right? We call those stock photos. So there's another app it's called Pixabay. It's a free app.
Totally.
I use that all the time, especially if I want to use it for a landing page on one of my sales funnels.
Oh, that's a great one. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great app. And let's say it's a free app. It's called Pixabay, and you can download it. And let me just see if I can show you guys real quick. You can put in there, like, let's say if you want to search, if you're selling apples, right? You can search apples, and then tons of cool pictures of apples will come up. You'll see the Apple computer. But there's people out there that are putting some nice images out there, and you can use those images for free. All free. And there's no headache of worrying about, oh, I'm stealing this image. No, they're there for you to use for free. Or cleaning.
A lot of the programs too are importing from Pixabay. So if you're not using that, I'm sorry, I've never even mentioned it. You're absolutely right. That's a great way to get some background images. If you're shooting video, you need a little bit of B-roll or just a shot of something. That's a great place to go. Hey, man, thanks so much.
Those photos work really well for engagement. I use a lot of those pictures just to get engagement. And you'd be surprised how many likes you'll get, how many people will comment on there. If you use the right copy on top, when we talk about copy again, that's just a little word up there, a little engagement, a little question that you have, and people will comment below and that's how we create the conversation with people, especially use it in the group, right? We like to create the conversations. You're doing a pretty good job with that, Matt. I've seen a lot of
working on it. I'm practicing hard.
Put a great photo out there in the group, and it was, which one was the one where you're selling it?
Yeah. That's when I used that photo when I was using Adobe Photoshop Express. So yeah. So what I did on that one was when I took the listing and I was doing the listing photos, I have my little cutouts of pending, coming soon, just listed, just sold, all those things. So what I did was I went and pre-took all those photos in 3 or 4 different places throughout the home. That way, as it moves through the sale process from pre-listing to coming soon to listed to under contract, blah, 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 I've already got those photos. Now I can put that out and promote my listing as it goes through each stage.
And here's the nugget for you guys. Okay, so one of the things that Matt did in that photo, so a lot of people, when they post on social media, they want to post 5 pictures or 3 pictures. And what happens is the post looks really choppy when you look at it visually, but you use pic collage. So you put 1, 2, 3, 4. You put 5 photos on a pic collage, right? You use an app or something to put it on there. You broke the pictures down. It's all in one. It's all visually smooth for the person that's scrolling, looks at it, and you can just click on the photo, and there it is. You can see the photo all in one, and you can see it got
the story.
That's how you should be posting. If you want to post a couple photos, use Pic Collage. That's an app that you can use. There's other things out there that help you make that. And when I say a collage, it means I don't know if you want to put it up on your screen, Matt. If you want to show that
photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep talking. It'll take me a second to get there.
Yeah. And it just comes out really, really smooth. And that's a good way to have a nice little presentation. And you can share that photo on your business page. You can share that on your personal page. And people are really going to appreciate the fact that you put that picture all on all in one image versus it's all chopped up, and people really don't want to scroll through the picture. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. And you can see how beautiful that looks. That's how it should look when you're posting on social media right there. That's a great.
It was clean. I got to see more. So it gets people to read more down into my post. I broke it up into lines. I tried to highlight this. One thing that I'm not doing as much of this that I'm just kind of noticing is I'm not using a lot of emojis. I like to use them to kind of draw some attention, and I didn't do any here. But yeah, I think this looks clean. This little grid look. Put my look here as a watermark. It didn't give me a lot of options here, but hey, it's there.
Hey, it's not. Yeah, it looks good. You know, he put the sale pending, and it looks great, man. Those are the ones. Oh, you didn't see the other one in the BSN group. It got a lot. It got about 17 comments on there, and 12. Yeah, that's really, really good actually. So you get a lot of
comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my that Thunderbirds video got me a lot of attention too. Well, that was super simple to do, man. So super simple to do. Gave it out there. A lot of people like to watch it, and I didn't put any branding on it at all. Nothing about me being realtor, not my name, nothing. But it's still out there, and it's still at the back end. My thought is it gets out there, people watch it, then I can always shoot them more videos about Maddie. So that's as a marketing standpoint.
And you're testing and you're working, and it feels good when you go, okay, how can I use this type of engagement? How can I use this for my business now, right? You start trying to like connect the dots. And once you start feeling it, man, you're gonna once you and you already have it, but once you start getting it, it's gonna be you'll have that momentum. That's why I tell people when I'm telling people, don't worry about posting post about the things that you love the most. Try to create the best engagement. Use videos. Use things that your family or is it your friends? Is it the things that you're doing? Try to create great engagement with that, and eventually you'll start connecting it with your business, and it'll just be
confident. Build your confidence, like you're saying. Start that way and build your confidence. Build not only your confidence in what you're selling, but your ability to convey the message.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can and you'll be able to duplicate that within yourself. So it's finding a duplication process, and you're not always going to hit it. I mean, unless you're a natural born marketer or natural born whatever. I don't know. I think that's something you just got to practice and practice and practice.
Absolutely. Always. And you got to practice, get the right information. Hey, I'm not a pro. We're talking about copy. That's something I always struggle with. I bought a book and I'm trying to teach myself. I'm trying to educate myself. One of the posts I put out today is if you're not, you have to adapt and overcome. In the words of the United States Marine Corps, adapt and overcome. And that's what we started the show with. And that's what I'm going to leave the show with. These tools are here to help you progress with the technology, use it to get your message out and connect with your clients and business and customer base.
So another tool I always talk to you guys, and I talked about with the BSN Entourage, is the groups, right? Facebook groups, and how I think when we talk about tools and tech, I think one of the biggest tools, I always tell you guys, this is about use the group as a tool. It's not
practice.
Great platform, but use it as a tool. So when you're in social media groups, you're going to try to work on creating engagement with people. That's so important. Join the groups that are relevant to you and who you are. Don't join 50 groups, 100 groups. Join groups that are you. Like, for example,
I'm not going to join a Mommy and Me group.
No, I'm not. Right? I'm not going to join. I love video games, but I'm not a video game person.
I'm never going to go fishing, so I'm not going to join a fishing group. Right.
I'm still using my old Tetris console. I still have this. Like I'm
going to have to geek out one day and come play in some Tetris, man.
I'm still playing Tetris. I'm showing it to you right now, guys.
That's hilarious.
Anyways, so I'm not gonna be playing with those guys, right? With have the head cam. That's not me, right? But I do, like, for example, I do love traveling, right? I do love traveling. martial arts, all the stuff. So I'm going to join those groups that are relevant to me, and I love to post in those groups. We have the Live the Good Life, Live the Good Life in Las Vegas group, which I love. Okay, I love Las Vegas, man. I love this city. This city is so important to me. It's somewhere. It's the place where, when I grew up in Portland, it was raining all the time. I was miserable, and when I traveled, I realized I needed to live somewhere where I needed sun, I needed weather, I just needed something different. And when I came here, man, I felt like I belonged here, right?
I hear you. I felt the same, man. Totally.
I really love. I love the city, and I love how far we've grown, and I love the Golden Knights, and I'm just all about that, right? I'm that guy, you know. But at the same time too, so that's why we create the Live the Good Life in Las Vegas, which is about stuff that's happening in Las Vegas. I love to share that with people. I'm not sharing. There's a lot of content I share in that group that I don't share in Buy Sell Network. So, but I'm sharing the stuff that we're doing, the fun things that we're doing. Is going to the parks, which, you know, right now it's hard, right? We're not going to the parks. If it's barbecuing, we barbecue a lot in Las Vegas. That's the beautiful thing about Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
Grill.
Very outdoors type of town.
Yeah, everyone's grilling. A lot of people have pools in their backyard. Everyone's swimming. It's awesome, right? That's the beautiful thing. We go for hikes all the time. I mean, how many people you see out there hiking in the desert?
All the time.
Use groups as a great tool to promote yourself, to get attraction to you. And don't be a spammer. I mean, don't go out there I'm always going to come back to this because we want you to become.
And it happens to everybody. Like you're talking. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So I got hit the other day. I got a post that was what is it? Disapproved. And you don't want to be a spammer. So I'm in my groups and I'm posting this content right now of the BSN into Texas, and it was for supporting businesses in Texas.
Sure.
I saw business and supporting business, so I thought this would be good information for that group. But the moderator didn't, and they didn't want me in there. So that made me look like a spammer. I do know the moderator, so I reached out to her, and it was not a big deal because I do connect with people. So when I do make a mistake, it's not as big a deal. But in my other group, We Got Your Back group, the group here that was helping people in Vegas, there was a guy that was constantly posting about his auto business. And I kept telling him, hey, I'm not going to approve your posts because I want to know what you're doing for the community. This is not a buy-sell group. Group. It's not a buy-sell group. This is a group helping people. So you need to do that. And he continued to do that, and I blocked him out of the group. You don't want that to happen, and that's what Ben's really talking about. Don't be a spammer. I just got caught. You're going to make mistakes, but if you create that engagement relationship, 99% of the time, you're not going to get banned out of groups.
And one of the things Matt and I were working on, we're putting it together. We're going to put it together is a formula in working the groups. Where am I sharing too much?
No, please. This is too big dog. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want to share too much because me and Matt talk. We're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. But there is a system to work in the group, building the group. How many people are you having in your group right now? Over 1,500 people now. Your group's
we're about 1,650 now. It's growing about 100, about 200 a week now.
Yeah, and I started this. Our group is we're almost at 2,000, but we're slowly. There's a plan for.
There's a difference in the groups, though.
In the group, right? Because we're looking for. Obviously, Matt. There's a lot of people joining his group because a lot of people do need help. He's at the right time where people do need help. Right. We're out there, and for me, I noticed what's great about your group is that there's more people wanting to help versus like need. I think there's a lot of people.
100%.
That's the opposite, right? You're not. You do see people that are in need, right? And I think, but there's so many people out there that are wanting to help out. So that's great about the group is he's using a group as a tool to build a community, to find the people that are out there that are givers rather than takers, right? You get that once in a while that are well, it's the same thing with your business, right? A lot of people start off with one. The difference is though, there's a different weight or balance where when people, how do you say? I don't want to sound negative, but the thing is though, people when they join these groups, they're not, majority of these people are not, they're not givers. It's crazy.
They're
And we're looking,
engaged. They just want to sit in the background. It's like, you know, you're in a classroom and they're the ones in the very back of the wall instead of right up in the front. And you're going to get the most value when you're out there active. And instead of taking, you're going to get more when you give. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but that's really the.
But we do appreciate the people that are in the group that are, because we have a lot of members that are just, you know, they love the content.
Marie watching right now. She's an amazing supportive person, amazing supporter. She's got her business going, and that's what it's about. You know, she's giving of herself and information and supporting others in their businesses. So other people are supportive of her. You know, I just saw her watching our live, and thank you.
Yeah, Marie's awesome, man. I've started with her. She's actually one of the original Buy Sell Network Entourage, and she's always been up to supportive. She's always been encouraging, and you can't find people like that. It's so hard, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to Marie Love. Marie Love Jackson, we love you.
There you go. We had George that was in here earlier. I don't know if you're still with us, George. George is a friend of mine, fellow realtor out here in Vegas. Thank you very much for joining us. I think we got some great tips today. What do you think?
Man, like I said, when we first started, we're like, there's so much to talk about.
We got a lot of stuff that we're just kind of throwing out there. I want to encourage you. If you're watching us, let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to hear more about. Tomorrow is going to be WTF Wednesday. I got to go into my memory banks, and Ben's going to go into his memory banks, and we're going to think about some of the things we wish we would have done better. Okay, yeah. In business, some of our mistakes, and I've just thought of one that I'm going to talk about. That was a huge eye-opening for me. And I'm sure Ben's going to bring the heat tomorrow. But I want to know what you want to hear. We want to make this engaging for you. I want to know what obstacles you're having in business. This is maybe a same obstacle I'm having. I'm working on video sequencing. You're an expert at video sequencing? Let me know. I'd love to talk and collaborate with you. And talk and collaborate with me. I have a Calendly scheduler. So if you want to book some time with me, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in my I'm going to put a link down below. It's going to be to my All Things Maddie, and there's going to be a calendar link on there. So if you need a few minutes with me, we can talk about some of the things that you have going on or how we can help each other or whatever help that you need. I would be happy and invite you to do that. Cool? Ben?
Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and we appreciate you. And if you know anyone that needs to watch a video like this, that needs this information, give it a like, give it a share. Tag them in this video. We're out there just helping people out. As you see, we're not out there trying to pitch, but we're trying to help people out with what's going on right now and trying to give value. Matt has got a lot of experience. I've gone through, like, we're going to talk about what the F.
Hey, man. Hey, the show's the show, man. We're all adults.
Yeah, man. You know, it's like that's what we're trying to help you with, right? Those moments when you're like, oh, I should have never, like, oh, you know.
How did I do this?
It's gonna happen. And it's not dropping the bomb, but it's kind of like, these are kind of good lessons to learn. And I think a lot of the information that we get from other people, all the seminars or the books that we're reading, we get to see what they've done wrong. We get to put it in our lives and going, okay, we've heard that. And what's funny is that we're the type of people where when it still stays hot, we still want to touch it, right? We're like, okay, let's see if it's hot.
Right.
We're like, oh man, I burned my hand, it's hot. And then we learn, right? So it's okay to be that person. I always tell people I'm the knucklehead of knuckleheads. I will still test it out. If you tell me it doesn't work, and I'll go out there, I'll try it. I'm like, oh man.
But you know what's funny about that, though, is perspective, because it may not work for somebody else, but it may work for you. But at least you're getting the education on what didn't work for somebody else and implementing it differently for you.
Yeah, we have to adapt, and that's the whole thing. So we'll dive into that tomorrow. There's a lot of what the F's. If it's personal, it could be business, it could be life, it could be whatever it is. Because the reality is that a lot of your life decisions, a lot of things that you've done personally, does affect your business, right? It will affect it. It's a matter of certain personal decisions that you make is how you've gotten here today and what you're doing today. So
we are the sum of our experiences.
Exactly.
Right on. Thank you, everybody, for joining
guys.
And sticking with us and being a huge supporter of our community. I ask you, if we've given you any great information, pay it forward. Tell somebody else. Spread the word. Like Ben said a moment ago, tag them in these lives. If you heard anything, you go, oh man, Joey down the street, he was just talking to me about this. Throw Joey in the comments so he can see the post. We're here to help. We would love to interact with you. And that being said, I'd love to see you out there. When you see me out there, give me a whoop whoop, because I'm making it famous.
All righty. And
all right,
what does Maddie say? What's your saying at the end of the day?
And it always slay the day.
All right. Thanks, Maddie.
Take care, everybody. Thank you so much, big dog. I'll talk to you soon. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.